All right, so in my last video, I printed this little cat, which was the demo file that came with the Ender 3 3D printer. And I used a medium called PETG, which is a bit tougher, almost nylon-like plastic. It's stronger than the PLA that you normally see, or ABS, and it melts at a much higher temperature. And you can take PETG and actually do the process called annealing, where you can make it even more heat resistant. Annealing, basically what it does when you lay down all the plastic in layers, the molecular structure of the plastic is, how would you say it? Not homogeneous. It's layered in the layers that it puts it down. And when you anneal, basically what you're doing is you're bringing the temperature up to the glassification factor, which is just before the melting factor. And then when you let it cool down slowly from that point, the molecular structure inside the plastic has an opportunity to realign itself so that it can be a little bit more resistant to any more temperature variation. So the idea here with this video is I'm going to show you the starting measurements. This is a 47 centimeter distance from here to there, from the front to the back. It's 39 inches from the ear to the top, and it is 36 inches from the top of the head to the bottom. And in the Y direction, if you put it in this direction, we have from the tips of those toes to the little tail there is also 47 centimeters. And so what I've got here is just a regular old cookie sheet. I've laid it out on parchment paper. This is paper that you would normally use for cookies or something like that. And we've got the oven heating up to a temperature. There it goes. At 200 degrees Fahrenheit, which is approximately 95 degrees centigrade, or Celsius, I'm sorry. It's about 95 degrees Celsius. So the idea here is we're going to put this little guy in there in a 200 degree temperature oven, and we're going to turn the oven off. We're not going to heat him up any more than what's in there. We're going to put him in there, let him come to 200 and turn the oven off. Once he gets to that point, all we want to do is allow him to cool in a controlled environment. And then tomorrow when I go to work, we're going to put the car outside and put this on the dashboard. It's 105 degrees on average here in Texas, and we'll see how hot it gets and prove or disprove that you can use PETG to make car parts to go inside the interior of your car, and that will justify whether or not using a 3D printer is a viable solution for creating custom car parts. That's the goal. So let's go ahead and cook this little kitty. All right, well, let's see how much it distorts. And we get it in there. It's going into the oven. Goodbye. Oven's at 200, and I have it in convection mode. You see how it's got the little fan blowing. The idea behind using the convection oven is that instead of having heat coming up from one direction or another, it should be blowing the heat around all around the place. We're going to give them a couple of minutes to just get up the temperature, and then I'm just going to turn this thing off. Okay, he's been in there for a minute or two. I'm just going to go ahead and turn it off. It's 8:26. I'll pull him out at 9 o'clock. Or maybe I'll just pull him out in the morning. Doesn't matter. Alright, so half an hour of cooling in an oven at 200 degrees. And you can see, obvious, the outline that I drew around him is significantly bigger than he is. And he is now taller than he was. So he's the X and the Y have shrunk, and the Z has increased. One other thing that I noticed on here, this particular model has an air pocket on the inside. There's no place for it to vent. There's no place for it to vent, so you can see on here at the bottom, the air that was in there caused this to deform a little, so it's kind of like hydroforming. So it's under pressure now, but it's very firm, very hard, and it's no longer deformed on the Z-axis. It's back up to the normal proportions as you would hope. So yeah, I meant to do that. So anyway, tomorrow when it gets nice and warm out, we're going to put this on the dash, and we're going to take some additional measurements. But let's go ahead and catalog what the differences are in the shape. Here, let me go ahead and take those measurements. All right, so in this axis, from this tail to the front edge here, where it was 47, it's now 40. So it's shrunk in that x-axis 7 centimeters. And as far as the height goes, from this ear to the flat edge. Now, I'm not using the bottom edge here, just to this flat edge, because I think that it would be unfair to use that deflection from the inflation. But went from 39 to 50 from the ear to this bottom here, and then from the top of his head to the bottom, where it was 36, it's now 47. So we're going to go ahead and take those measurements, and we're going to keep those measurements, and then tomorrow when I put him on the dash and we test him in a real life scenario for how heat tolerant he is, then we'll get some good feedback on that. All right, let's hope that it's a warm one tomorrow. All right, so here we are on the dashboard. It's 91 degrees out here in Texas today. The inside temperature of this car is well over 100. It looks like it's 109 right now. We just put the thermometer in. So we're gonna set this. This is a PETG printed test print from the Ender 3 3D printer, and I have here it's up to 117. It's just climbing on the inside. I have one lead that's going to be the outside temperature. I have another lead that is going to be the inside temperature at the dash. And we're going to set it in here, and we'll see how long. A couple hours. We'll leave it out in the sun this afternoon here in the Texas heat. And we'll just prove or disprove that you can use PETG and an annealing process to make your 3D printed parts more heat tolerant, so you can use them to build internal car parts, or even parts that you might put inside the dash of a car. All right, let's go ahead and close the door and give it some time. Shows 130 degrees inside the car and 104 degrees outside. We'll come back and check it in a few hours. All right, so it's been about 2.5 hours. Says the outside temperature is 113 and the inside temperature is 127. Well, it's not a pancake. It doesn't look like it's deformed at all. The actual outside temperature, although it is over 100, it's not 113. This is laying on something a little warmer than the outside ambient temperature. But let's go ahead and take him out and see if it's soft or deformed at all. All right, he's not gone soft, it's not gone flat. The PETG that's annealed seems to be somewhat heat resistant, and I think you can use it for interior products. I'm going to take it back in the house and hit it with the caliper and see if we have any changes in the measurements, but I think we got a good solution. All right, measurements are verified. It has not distorted at all after spending 2.5 hours on the dash in the heat of the summer sun. Here in Texas, it looks like the PETG on a 3D printed device, in this case a little Chinese kitten, is a viable solution. It stayed firm. It did not get distorted. When you plan to do annealing, you do have to plan on the distortion that occurs is different on the X and Y versus the Z axes. The X and the Y will get smaller, and the Z axis will increase. And when you look at that, it kind of makes a little bit of sense. The 3D printer goes around in circles, and it lays it down in layers, right? And so when you lay it into the oven for annealing, those layers, when they normalize, they compact a little bit. And when they do that, it makes them a little bit taller. Each layer gets a little taller. So the X and the Y are going to contract, and the Z is going to expand. I will put in the description, I'll do the math on it, and we'll put a little calculation in the description so you can try to predict that should you want to do any annealing on parts that you end up needing to have to fit into something else. But when you're laying out your parts, keep in mind the path that you print them. The Z is going to expand, and the X and the Y is going to contract. All right, well, there's our little experiment on annealing a 3D print. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions or comments or anything on it, just be sure you throw them in the comment section. If you like this video, if you have any other thing that you'd like me to do, just mention it in the comments, and we'll see if we can do something else. That's all I have for you today. Have a good day. Cheers.